Hi, welcome to Citizen Survival Plan. Welcome back if you've been here before. So we have seen this in the comments, people saying that they could just take whatever they need as long as they have guns, and guns are the most important thing to actually have for a severe collapse or grid down scenario, SHTF if you will. And I kind of want to go over this and kind of break down why this is probably not the best morally to do and not really an actual viable option if you're planning on doing this, or if you're someone who has just purchased a lot of guns and you think you're just good to go because you are just heavily armed with a lot of ammo. These are people that don't have any other supplies and they're just into guns, and they think that guns are just going to provide everything they need during a collapse or during a really bad grid down situation for long periods of time. They think that their guns are just going to get them out of the hole. So for today's topic purposes, we are actually just going to skip the moral argument, because obviously here on this channel, we don't recommend raiding people or stealing from people or pointing guns at any innocent people to take their stuff, and just diving right into if this is even possible. So let's go. The first problem I see with becoming a raider or just stealing everything you need with your firearms is a timeline. Here at this channel, we think that at some point civilization will return to some sort of normal, and there's not just going to be forever living in the collapse. So let's start with this. Let's say that we think that SHTF has hit, it's here, and you have all your guns and you have 10,000 rounds of ammo, whatnot, you're armed to the teeth. What exactly is the timeline on going and raiding people, Because keep in mind, you haven't stockpiled anything else, you've just stockpiled guns. So are you going to wait until you're hungry, cold, infected, running out of fresh water, or are you just going to start raiding people right away? And the problem I kind of see with this is, if you were to do this, obviously we think things are going to return to normal at some point. You are going to stand trial for what you've done. And this is sort of something that I think about too. What if it's only like a week or two? The power's down, you don't think it's coming back on. A week or two's gone by, you have no other supplies but your firearms, and you have now raided your neighbors and stuff for some ramen noodles or whatever, because not everybody is super prepared. You're most likely be getting a little bit with each raid that you go through. So after that happens, you're going to be in big trouble. You just pointed guns at your neighbor, took stuff at gunpoint, so that's going to be a problem. Yeah, so you can't do it too early because you're going to end up standing trial, and you can't do it too late, because if it's too late, you're already hungry, infected, and starving, et cetera, or whatever the problems you're going to run into, mostly, hunger and out of water. So the timeline for this is not going to be is not going to rule in your favor for sure. So let's start with who you're going to be stealing from. Or things have gone sideways and now it's time to raid. So the first person you're going to probably raid, because I see this in the comments all the time, is your liberal neighbors, the ones with the sign in their front yard. We can all identify, they basically identify themselves. Unarmed people that are unarmed. It's not hard to figure out. These are going to be an easy target or easier target. It's not going to be all easy. Just keep in mind, even if you're raiding people that are unarmed in something, if you break into their house, to steal the little bit that they have, because keep in mind, these are just normal people or whatever unarmed people in your neighborhood. They don't prepare like I would, or anyone maybe watching this channel would. They don't have a lot of supplies. So it's lower risk, but you're not going to get much. You're going to get maybe some vegan protein bars and some ramen noodles out of these people. And you're also, whether you believe it or not, are going to be putting yourself at risk. I don't care if you're kitted up in your AR-15 or whatever, and you're bursting through people's doors and you're taking stuff from them. Your neighbor could be hiding in the closet or something, stab you in the back. Or front, whatever. They could just jump out and attack you. It's not going to be perfect. Just because you're armed, don't think that you can't get hurt. That's not the way I think it's going to go. It's going to be still a risk, a lower risk, but still a risk to be stealing from these people. Also, again, we're trying to ignore the moral argument of this, but I mean, it's morally wrong. We're not going to be, you're not going to look good doing this. You're also going to be drawing a lot of attention to yourself by robbing people. If everyone knows you're doing it, no one's going to want to trade with you or get near you or be around you, and you probably are going to be attacked at some point for doing this, so it's not a good idea. Okay, so there's like a middle group to this, there's the normal people, they don't have like heavy political leanings or whatever. They have a handgun, maybe a rifle. They're not your liberal neighbors that are unarmed. These are your normal people. So there's going to be higher risk to attack them. They probably are armed. You're not going to be the only one that's armed. So you're raising the risk here. You can definitely steal from them. Normal people typically have some food in their freezer. They have some extra food in their pantry, stuff you could steal, boxes of mac and cheese, stuff that you probably have to cook. Or this is also a problem with just stealing from normal people, is if they have a freezer full of food, you're going to have to cook it and thaw it out right away. And if the grid's down, you're not going to have power to keep it frozen or keep it refrigerated, etc., etc. So you're going to get a bunch of food you're going to have to cook right away. And if you're a raider, you're not going to have a big group with you. You're probably just going to be eating it all by yourself or with one or two other people that have decided to go into this immoral crusade, if you will, against all of your neighbors during SHTF. So again, we're raising the risk. These people could shoot you. There's a lot of problems with this. You're gonna get food that expires, food that's frozen. You're not gonna get a lot of good stuff out of these people, and you're probably gonna get shot. You're gonna get into some sort of fight. These people aren't gonna roll over easy. These are the normal people of society. They might have kids they're protecting. You're definitely gonna get shot at trying to at least steal from these people. So not a good idea. Still not recommended. The last group of people you're going to want to steal from is people like me, preppers, people who have been preparing and looking at the world, and that we've gone above and beyond to have preparations, stuff that doesn't need to be refrigerated and whatnot. We have a lot of supplies. We're the people you're going to want to steal from. But again, this is going to be extremely high risk. I mean, if you are going to be stealing from preppers and you are going to be one of these raiders that just thinks that they have guns and they can just attack whoever they want, it's not gonna go good. And here's why. So a big problem with attacking these people, people that have prepared, is they're prepared. They might be sitting in a heated house. They have water filtration. They haven't been drinking dirty water. They are eating good food. They probably have lots of guns against yours. And they are prepared. They're probably sitting in a warm house. You haven't prepared. All you have is your guns. You didn't know what to do at first, and how fast you could start taking supplies from other people. You might be injured from trying to steal from other people. So at this point, you're desperate, you're hungry, and now your plan is to go ahead and attack someone who's very prepared because they have a lot of equipment, a lot of food stored up, and whatnot. So you want to take stuff from them. This is going to be very, very, very high risk for you. So not only are they well fed, have clean water, and probably sitting in warmth or air conditioning, even possibly depending on how much solar stuff they have, they're well armed, possibly have night vision, and possibly have perimeter trips, alarms, stuff going on. They might be working with other people in the neighborhood to help protect the neighborhood too, and feeding other people around them to help them during this hard time. So they might have allies and you don't, because you're just raiding people. So that's going to be a big problem for you. I'll take my odds against somebody who's already prepared and not delirious in a fight during somebody who's not, all they have is guns, so they're just going to attack you for your stuff. The person who is set up is probably going to do better in that fight than you are if you have not prepared. Is it possible that you could win the fight and take everything from somebody who's very prepared? I mean, sure. I mean, a gunfight's a 50-50 shot a lot of times, but I'm going to go ahead and take my money and put it on the person that is prepared and not starving, hungry, and now needing to raid people for supplies. My final thoughts on this, it's probably not going to be a good idea to be raider during SHTF. It's probably just going to get you killed. It's not a good idea. And I also want to make another note about this also. If you are somebody who just is in the preparedness mindset and you guys, you have watched videos about preparing and whatnot, and most of your stuff is just in guns, and you have walls and walls of guns. I know these people. Walls and walls, M1 Grands, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you name it. Sell some of that stuff and buy some emergency equipment, water filters, backup power stations, all the stuff we cover on this channel. The guns only can help you out so much. They are extremely important, but it's such a small part of it that you'd be best getting other supplies. So not only is it a bad idea and probably just gonna get you killed, you're risking your life. It's morally bankrupt to do this. You're gonna be robbing your neighbors. It's gonna be terrible. And you could die a slow death. I mean, what if you get stabbed or shot with a pellet gun or something trying to raid your neighbors? It's just not gonna end well. Just actually go get prepared. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.